Howdy folks, and welcome back to another video. I'm gonna be honest, I've made a lot of content on my channel, and of absolutely every video that I've ever made, this one has been the most difficult. It's not particularly emotionally impactful to me, it's not particularly long, it's not particularly well edited, but something about this video has just been really difficult. I have made long 30-minute special episodes, I have done very well edited bits, and I have made AJMVs with over 30 people. But never once in any of my videos have I ever had to go back to the beginning of the footage and start my commentary all over again because I wasn't happy with the results. A few times I have made commentary videos where I feel like I wasn't exactly happy with their outcome, but I thought that it would be perceived well enough that I thought it was okay to upload it, and it was perceived well. This video, however, has been rough on me. This is my third time recording my audio, because the past 2 times I have completely redone my audio, I didn't like it, and I still don't. I was gonna cover the spicy side of the Animal Jam community, and kind of make a silly opening about welcome to the Animal Jam video about the spicy side of Animal Jam. Cue some romantic music and then have me cut to saying, oh no, not actually, let's talk about the romantic side of Animal Jam that probably shouldn't exist. And I'm still gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna be entirely blunt from the start here. This video is going to cover some uncomfortable topics. Animal Jam is the kind of game that shouldn't have any form of romance in it whatsoever. There should be nothing. Romance and Animal Jam should not be in the same sentence. But it is. So I'm going to be talking about a few topics that may trigger a few people. If very lightly bringing up inappropriate people on Animal Jam, including people who are creepy towards children, makes anybody here uncomfortable, please click another video. I'm going to be attempting to approach these topics with as responsible and respectful of a tone as I can. If you at any point in the video perceive me as being a bit too humorous, or as if I'm approaching a topic insensitively, please let me know. That is not my intention at all making this video, and this is the why I have made an active effort to re-record and re-record this until I have an outtake that I am comfortable with. I know that some of the topics that I bring up in this video have been covered in the past by other creators. However, I have information that I don't feel like is as public as it should be, and I'll be coming forward with that information in this video. That being said, I'm going to be splitting this video into 3 segments. First, I'm going to be talking about Animal Jam e-dating. Then, I'm going to be talking about predators in Animal Jam and how Animal Jam handles predators. And then, I'm going to be talking about shipping in Animal Jam. That being said, let's get on with the video. Like any online MMO game, Animal Jam has a community of e-daters. A community that is so prevalent, in fact, that one of the community's main jokes is about the female Arctic wolf looking for a boyfriend, and the other female Arctic wolf pretending to be a boy to pretend to be this person's Animal Jam boyfriend. People, mostly children, can seek out Animal Jam relationships for a few reasons. Sometimes, since children simply don't understand that Animal Jam is not an appropriate place to find a partner, sometimes they genuinely are searching for somebody to make an attachment to, or to be friends with, or to be romantic with. Sometimes children are just looking for attention. They don't really understand the implications of a relationship, but would like to kind of role-play one, and what they see on television. In fact, a lot of the times when I've run into Animal Jam e-couples, they aren't really together. It's just a sort of role-play that they do when they're on Animal Jam. Some people have less great means when it comes to looking for partners on Animal Jam. Some people out there seek out Animal Jam boyfriends or girlfriends as an attempt to scam them of sorts, to get free rares from them. I've seen it in the past where people have been in Animal Jam relationships and somebody has said, hey baby girl, I want to get you Animal Jam membership because I love you so much. Give me your username and password so I can buy you membership. And then, like always, the account is hacked into and the items are taken. I've seen times in the past, too, where people will attempt to make relationships or deep friendships in Animal Jam just in order to get items from them, be it saying, hey, can I try on your items? Or simply, you're my friend, I can trust you, right? Regardless of what it is, the Animal Jam e-dating scene is something that everybody is aware of, and that shouldn't exist. E-dating isn't going to go away anytime soon, and Animal Jam does make an active effort to put a stop to e-dating, putting censors on things like boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, mate, etc. However, children are always going to find a way around chat filters to make partners anyways. E-dating can be extremely dangerous, not only if the person that the person is dating is an adult, but even if the e-dating takes place between 2 minors. People who are in online relationships, specifically immature online relationships made through video games, can often become unhealthily attached to the person they are quote-unquote e-dating. This can result in children gaining parasocial relationships with online friends. People oftentimes associate parasocial relationships between a fan and a creator or a fan and somebody who's famous. However, parasocial relationships can also occur between two average people who just simply haven't met in person. This can happen if one person in the e-dating relationship is genuinely in love with the other one, genuinely infatuated with them, and wants to spend their life together or become partners outside of Animal Jam. However, the other partner in the relationship is not taking it seriously. Perhaps they're going on to Animal Jam in order to, have fun, pretend to be in love with somebody, role-play a relationship. Of course, a lot of people won't take it seriously when eventually it comes out that the second person never loved the first person at all, and the second person is so hurt. The community and people in real life would often mock the first person, saying, how can you actually expect to get in a relationship over Animal Jam? It's just Animal Jam. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. But for children who have never experienced heartbreak, and for children who have never experienced that kind of love, it can be genuine and it can really hurt. I've seen situations when I was younger where somebody would genuinely get into an e-dating relationship in Animal Jam. And eventually that relationship would end, and the result would be somebody who was genuinely very hurt and very unwell. It doesn't help that over Animal Jam, it is very easy to manipulate and lie to others, and it is very easy to scam others, like I had previously mentioned. This also puts players at risk. Unfortunately, e-dating can also put players at risk of something entirely different and incredibly more mortifying. Wherever there are children, creeps will gather. And creeps especially love to gather places where there are children where you can be anonymous so that they can never be caught. This is why the internet is full of creepy people and groomers. And Animal Jam is not the exception. In fact, Animal Jam is pretty infamous for having a very bad groomer population. When children are seeking e-dating relationships online, it is a lot easier for groomers to find them. Sometimes the groomer will pretend to be children, or sometimes they won't even mask their age at all. Because a lot of the times, when children are young, they don't understand the implication of a relationship between a child and an adult. This can result in children on Animal Jam being groomed. And it has happened before, and it will happen again. Unfortunately, when it comes to child grooming, it is not uncommon for people to blame the victim. For people to call them stupid or say that it was obvious, and especially when the groomer is open about their age, saying that they should have known better and should have broken contact with the person. I was a victim of grooming, not through Animal Jam, but through Google Plus when it was still active. The person who groomed me was open and honest about their age, but I was so young I did not perceive the actions that they made towards me to be inappropriate, and that is often the case with young children. When children are raised or are active in an environment where inappropriate behavior is occurring, especially with people who are older than them and perceived to be more mature than them, they may break the social taboo and not see issues with people doing inappropriate things, be it publicly or with children. In my case, the groomer engaged with inappropriate role plays with myself, and since I was in an environment where that was deemed to be okay and not inappropriate, I did not understand that I was being groomed, and instead perceived it to be innocent role plays between two people, even though the content of those role plays were vile and disgusting. This can also occur on Animal Jam. Many of you know that many years ago there was actually a news report on Animal Jam Classic, specifically in regards to how Animal Jam Classic preys on children, or how people in Animal Jam Classic prey on children. It touches on inappropriate role plays in Animal Jam. And when the news report was made, the community sort of responded to it with an overwhelming sigh and eye roll, because that happens all over the internet. And they're not wrong. Specifically drawing attention to Animal Jam and saying Animal Jam is unsafe for children is sort of unfair, considering that predators will go anywhere online to find children. And Animal Jam just happens to have a large concentration of children, which makes it easier for predators to get children. However, it is a genuine problem in the Animal Jam community that is frequently talked about, but not in a way that I think it should be. Quite clearly, if you ever see somebody in Animal Jam that you perceive to be in danger, you should obviously report that person and you should try to get them banned. That is 100% valid, and I agree wholeheartedly. But you should also try and help the victim. A lot of the times when children are actively in compromising circumstances, they will not realize what is happening to them. This happens to so many people. And sometimes when you talk to that person, that minor, and tell them what they are in and what situation they are in, they won't believe you. They may actively go against you and try to deny it and defend the person that they are being harmed by. However, you should always make an active effort to keep the minors of the community safe. And I have seen that the Animal Jam community does the exact opposite of that. I have seen the Animal Jam community promote content that is violent, videos that have inappropriate topics, even if these videos are bringing awareness, like mine is. This is why in my video, I have a warning at the beginning of the content of this video, because this is the kind of content that young people should not be engaging with. Sometimes you can bring attention to a subject without actively encouraging minors to engage with it. It is not good for minors to be constantly engaging in content that is inappropriate in nature, regardless as to whether or not that content is bringing attention to situations. I specifically call into question videos that talked about Hyanine, and videos in which they talked about Hyanine and used Hyanine's art as examples in the videos, while simultaneously complaining that the art in said video was inappropriate for Animal Jam and that Hyanine should be banned for the content of said art. I find it incredibly hypocritical that these people will have a large platform of children and share these drawings made by Hyanine that they deem to be inappropriate. They share these with their child audience. Even if it is to bring attention to the situation, you are still exposing young children to inappropriate artwork. I know that that may not be something that people think about while creating their videos. That may not cross their mind, and they may simply be thinking that they are attempting to bring attention to an inappropriate topic. However, I think that it is important that when making topics, especially including topics for videos that are of such a sensitive nature, you consider who your audience is. For this reason, while I'm going to be talking about inappropriate people in Animal Jam, I will not be including any video or photo examples. This is to keep the child segment of my audience safe. As I've already said, Animal Jam unfortunately has a large population of creeps, and Animal Jam's history with them is very rocky. Animal Jam does not have the best reputation when it comes to how they manage their creeps, and I absolutely do not blame anybody for thinking that Animal Jam is awful at doing so. I like to preference this segment of the video by saying that I believe wholeheartedly that Animal Jam's response to creeps in their community is wrong. And while I will be doing what I do in every one of my videos in approaching Animal Jam's side of the story, this does not by any means mean that I am defending them or their actions. I am simply shedding light onto a situation in some cases which there is things that have happened that the community may not be entirely aware of. Like any company, Animal Jam does not want creeps on their platform and have been making an active effort to keep creeps out of their community. They have a pretty thorough chat system that blocks messages that may be deemed as inappropriate. A chat system so thorough that sometimes absolutely innocent jammers can get suspended or banned for saying innocent things. For an example, I was once banned for 24 hours for saying that I was hungry and was going to go get breakfast, therefore leaving the game. I got chat banned for 24 hours for saying, and I quote, "I'm going to go get breakfast because I am so hungry." Hungry spelled with 3 Ys. This is not unheard of from the community, and Animal Jam's chat system is not only incredibly strict, but ever evolving. As new terms are used to work around old blocked terms, Animal Jam actively updates their system to ban workarounds for their chat system, which does sometimes result in strange bannings, such as what happened to me. However, Animal Jam's public responses to creeps in their community have been very inappropriate. The obvious example that comes to everybody's mind is Hyanine 1 and how Animal Jam handled that creep in the community. I think that on the public front, Animal Jam behaved absolutely inappropriately. They responded to the public backlash by posting on their Instagram llama images that said, "Don't be a drama llama," implying that the situation involving a community was drama. That is absolutely disgusting and absurd. And it's not only an insult to the Animal Jam community, but brings into question to me Animal Jam's social media management at the time. I'd like to say that the social media manager is a lot better now, but I feel like it is public reputation 101 that when you are shown public backlash for anything, if you're being canceled, your response should not be to mock the cancellation, even if the reason you're being canceled is false and stupid. What that will show to the public is that you are entirely flippant about the situation, that you don't care about the people who watch you, the people that consume your content, and you are belittling those who have a genuine concern. This is why that post was absolutely abhorrent. However, then after, people began to complain about the amount of time that it took for High9 to get banned. Given Animal Jam's radio silence on the situation, I can't blame them. To the public eye, it seemed as if Animal Jam was staying silent and ignoring instead of actually looking into the situation. If I were them, I think that it could have been entirely appropriate to put out a post saying, "We've heard your concerns and are looking into the jammer questioned." You don't have to get into details. I know why Animal Jam did not make a post like that. They didn't want to actively acknowledge an inappropriate jammer being on the game on their public Instagram feed, where a lot of jammers are, including children who should not have to hear about that kind of stuff. I understand. However, they could have simply made a vague post explaining that they've heard the situation going on and they are looking into it. They don't need to bring up what the situation is. But those jammers who know what is going on will know. Despite their abhorrent response publicly, Animal Jam actually did take response privately, which a lot of jammers did not get to see due to their absolute silence. However, some people are still peddling the fact that Animal Jam was entirely inactive and banned High9 way too late than was appropriate. This is actually not the case. I actually got in contact with somebody many months ago who was close with Animal Jam at the time that this situation was going on. For their safety and their sake, I'm not going to name who it was who I spoke with, as I don't know if this information is supposed to be private, public, or something that I am supposed to know at all. What I do know is that the person I spoke with is entirely trustworthy, and I do not doubt in the slightest that they were actually close with Animal Jam during this occurrence. That being said, I learned through this person that Animal Jam did not only take action, but the reason it took so long is because of the amount of action they took. That being that Animal Jam genuinely got the police involved. They heard people's cries, and they did think that there was a genuine concern to be had. So not only did they take action within the game, but they had to involve the local authorities. Unfortunately, if you guys have seen Pink Otter's video where I talk about my hiatus, you would know that I have become very recently very aware of the police, how the police works, and criminal justice. The criminal system takes a long time. The justice system is painfully slow and oftentimes can traumatize those involved, simply because of how long it can take and how brutal and dragging it can be to work through the system. This was likely the case for Animal Jam and their involvement with High9 and the police. Animal Jam would not be in the right place to take down High9's account while the investigation was still ongoing. Not just because there was an active investigation, but also because deactivating or deleting High9's account could potentially end up removing valuable data and valuable evidence against High9 in his investigation. Animal Jam, upon banning an account, does not immediately delete the information associated with said account, but it does within 30 days. This means that if Animal Jam had banned High9's account within 30 days of the investigation, there could very well have been evidence that be permanently lost. So they did not ban High9 as the investigation was ongoing. I do not know the conclusion to the investigation, nor does the person I spoke with. But what I do know is that the investigation was taken very seriously, and people who were involved with High9 personally, people who were potentially groomed by High9, were asked by police for statements. Of the multiple people who were asked by police to give a statement, only one of them did. I do not know the result of this statement, but I do know that one victim, at the very least, did provide a statement as per their engagement with High9. What many people also know is that High9 eventually was banned. Ironically, High9 was not banned for being a creep. It just so happened that High9 committed another offense against Animal Jam's terms of service whilst under investigation. The reason he was banned was entirely unrelated, and it just so happened to line up to the investigation, which meant that Animal Jam no longer had a need to ban him, considering he was already banned. That being said, most people are also aware that High9 came back. While no longer active to my knowledge on said account, people believe that he may have been banned again. This is false. High9 was not banned a second time on his new account. In fact, he was quitting on his own terms. He may have moved to another account because he was discovered to be High9 on this one. We do not know. There is a chance that he has made a new account in the community and is still active to this day without our knowledge. But what we do know is that eventually he did make a second account, and that said account, by the name of Agrix, was not banned by Animal Jam. I could see some arguments for and against this. I obviously personally think that he should have been banned. I personally think that while Animal Jam rarely IP bans, that High9 should have been a rare exception to IP ban. However, they don't very often IP ban, and to my knowledge, Animal Jam does not have anything in their terms of service against ban evasion, which essentially means that if I were to get banned, I can make a new account, and as so long as I don't break any terms of service on new account, or I don't encourage any breaking of terms of service after my new account, they won't ban my new account. If a player continues to engage in shady parts of the community and break the terms of service, then they will begin to ban them as they make new accounts. Yet, High9 continued to make questionable art on their new account and was not banned. This means that Animal Jam most likely deemed their art to be not inappropriate, or were simply turning a blind eye. That is where I think Animal Jam absolutely dropped the ball. There's another argument about High9 that I've seen brought up that I'd like to mention. Long ago, before High9 was under fire for the art he made in-game, and for engaging inappropriately with people through the game, High9 was exposed for being inappropriate with people outside of the game. Specifically, they'd meet people on Animal Jam, find their social medias off of Animal Jam, and be inappropriate there. People reported this to AJHQ before he did anything questionable in-game. AJHQ did not address those complaints, nor did they take any action, and I can't say that in that particular circumstance that I can blame them. Animal Jam strictly does not engage with any drama that happens outside of the game itself. For example, if I were to trade with somebody, and he did not like my trade, and ended up regretting it, so went into my DMs on Instagram, and proceeded to harass me, say that I was a horrible person and a scammer, and that maybe they exposed my location, and say some disgusting, awful things about me, and straight up harass and bully me, and I were to bring that to Animal Jam, they would not ban said player. I can't say that I blame them, because if they were to ban a player, or essentially apprehend a player for behavior that occurs outside of the game itself, this could set an unhealthy precedent for them being willing to provide administrative behavior towards players based on things entirely detached from the community. I understand Animal Jam not taking actions based off of things that happen outside of the game, and I don't believe that that will ever change. Perhaps they should make examples for extremely inappropriate situations, but you can also always remember the fact that screenshots can be doctored. An entirely innocent person can be exposed for things they haven't done due to screenshots that have either been cropped or entirely fabricated using editing softwares. So Animal Jam always needs to be diligent about what is and is not true within the community. One last thing in regards to creeps in the Animal Jam community that I see frequently talked about is people who associate with perceived creeps. I'm not going to name names for the safety of anybody who I may be thinking of, but there have been a few circumstances in which a player has been deemed dangerous to the community. However, another player may have continued to be friends with said person, or engage with them privately, and as a result, the community absolutely chastises them and kicks them out. I think that this can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Sometimes, absolutely yes, this person will be entirely aware of the creep's actions and continue to support them regardless, simply because they are not a good person. However, it should be remembered that sometimes there can be people who are either manipulated or groomed themselves by said person to believe everything that they say. I was engaged personally with an individual in the community who have been known for quite a while for being not a good person. They've abused people, exposed their audience to things they definitely should not have, and were all around very toxic. This person had severe mental health issues, and I was friends with them before they were exposed. When they were exposed, I was skeptical. I knew this person in private, and they told me that the things weren't true. They even provided doctored screenshots and cropped screenshots of messages between themselves and their victims, showing that this person had been mean and abused them too. So they were both awful to each other. Sure, the engagements may have been toxic, but it was toxic on both ends. They were mentally ill, and they told me they were receiving help. They had manipulated me for months into believing that they were innocent, and that in cases where they weren't innocent, that it was as a result of toxicity on both sides, and that they were mentally ill, and that they were receiving help. I proceeded to support this person who I should not have for longer than I should have. and a few people in the community noticed. And as a result, they called me out on my actions. I was wrapped around this person's finger, and I simply ignored them. Until eventually the person who I was being manipulated by showed their true colors to me myself. They got too comfortable and began to show absolutely abhorrent actions that they were doing to other people to me, expecting for me to support them. Between that and seeing other people's posts with irrefutable evidence as to what this person had done, it dawned on me, and I realized that I was being dragged along this entire time. I broke off my engagements with said person immediately, and I've apologized to the people who I ignored, to the people who were hurt by this individual and who I turned a blind eye to. I'm happy to say that the people who he had hurt, I was able to make up with, and we are now friends. However, this could be used as a prime example of people in the community who are bad or being perceived as bad, being supported by others, not because they perceive the behaviors to be okay, but because they have a warped perception of the person and of the things that they have done. Which is why I personally believe that if you see somebody supporting someone who is disgusting to the community or toxic, I feel like the best example of what you should do to that person is let them know what's going on, politely, without attacking the person. And if they continue to support the person engaging inappropriately in the community, you should distance yourself from them. There is a chance that they're doing it out of malice and are a disgusting person themselves, but there is also a chance that they are also a victim. And in the off chance that they are a victim themselves, I believe that the best thing that should be done for them is to be left alone. That being said, it is not only people who are inappropriate or involved with inappropriate people who are being treated uncomfortably by the community. Which is why I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to talk about one more thing about inappropriate engagements or spicy engagements in the community. And that is, I'm going to talk about shipping, specifically shipping real people in the community with each other. Shipping has always been a thing in fandom spaces and will always be a thing in fandom spaces. The thing is that usually the people that are being shipped are fictional characters from video games or animes or whatnot. However, there has always been people shipping real-life people with each other. I remember growing up when I was in the gaming YouTuber side of the internet, people were shipping Septiplier, a ship between Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. And at the time, because I was so young, I didn't really see what was wrong with it, and I endorsed it. And I remember one time when I was like 7 years old, I had a background for my phone that was Septiplier related. In hindsight, that was absolutely disgusting, and still is, yet people are still being shipped with real people. Back in the heyday of Animal Jam, I remember people shipping the Jambasters together, including Bepper and Apari, who are siblings. And this still continues to happen today. In the past, with some of my videos that involve Friend Soup, I've seen Friend Soup members get shipped together. And usually what I would do is I'd roll my eyes and I'd delete it. However, recently somebody shipped me with the Pink Otter after a video that we made together about our friendship. This gave me a visceral reaction. The Pink Otter is a minor, and I am an adult. The Pink Otter is not only a minor, but she's taken. I am not only an adult, and gay, by the way, but I am also taken. I've had a boyfriend for 8 years. And quite frankly, shipping two people who are friends together not only makes it uncomfortable between the two people, but if done frequently enough, can have genuinely lasting impacts on people's friendships. I'm lucky enough that in my case, it doesn't happen very frequently, but there are some YouTubers out there where shipping between friends becomes so common and just people's gut reaction to seeing them together that it can have negative, lasting consequences on said person's relationships together. I have seen in the past a YouTuber who was shipped with another YouTuber fall apart and no longer be friends because whenever they were seen together, they were shipped, and it made them so uncomfortable that they began to drift apart until they weren't friends anymore. And while I refuse to let this happen with Friend Soup because they are like my best friends ever, you guys still need to understand that this is inappropriate behavior. I can understand that a lot of the people doing this are children, and a lot of the time children don't really understand how, bad this is because they're so young and naive and whatnot. However, I feel the needs to mention it just in case anyone here watching ships real people so you can understand that it's inappropriate. Sometimes one person might ship two real people due to parasocial relationships, which I have an entire video on. Because a lot of the times when you make content online, despite people acknowledging that I am a real human being, it becomes hard to unconsciously acknowledge that these people are real and that they have real feelings, and they become almost fictionalized in your mind. you don't think about how they'll feel because you'll never see how they feel. Because I'm not going to make a video crying and being uncomfortable over whatever. But people do have real feelings, and they can genuinely feel uncomfortable. I think it's a bit ironic that I'm currently recording this on Valentine's Day, and I can see the irony in that. However, while not an intentional choice, I think that it is wise that I do so. There's going to be people out there who are using Valentine's Day as an opportunity to attempt to, I suppose, seduce jammers in-game and be inappropriate with them, when really, for people of the age demographic of Animal Jam, this should be a chance to be friends and spread friendship. I feel like this is something that really needed to be talked about, all three circumstances. Because while I do think that the jokes and memes about Animal Jam e-dating, Animal Jam boyfriends and girlfriends, they can be funny, I think that diminishes the genuine impact that Animal Jam e-dating can have on people. Be it exposing them to predators, or emotionally negatively impacting them, getting them scammed, allowing them to be groomed. It's treated as a nonchalant and silly topic in the community when it genuinely can be harmful. And I see that while generally speaking, shipping real-life people is frowned upon in communities that largely consist of younger people, it's more common and never spoken about. So I did want to include that because that was something I wanted to talk about but wouldn't have made a good video on its own. I want you guys to keep yourselves safe. If you ever see any behavior in Animal Jam that you deem to be inappropriate, unsafe, or that makes you uncomfortable or scared, report it. Don't just report it in-game. Yeah, report it in-game, but also report it to Animal Jam themselves. I'll be providing a link in the description straight to Animal Jam support tickets, so you can write a support ticket to Animal Jam if you're ever uncomfortable. I'll also be including a link to Animal Jam's Instagram. You can email them and submit a ticket over Instagram as well. Stay safe, and happy Valentine's Day. I know this was a darker video, but I still love you guys. I opened all of your guys' gifts on live stream. I'll be including a link in the description to the live stream where I open everybody's gifts. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Howdy folks, real quick, it's Future KijiCon here, editing the video. There was a couple things that I wanted to tack in at the end that I think I kind of skimmed over in the video itself that I intended on talking about. It's just going to be real quick, so just hold your horses, it won't be long. Firstly, I wanted to clarify when I mention that I think that it's inappropriate to expose minors to certain topics in videos. I wanted to make it very clear that it is a good idea to make videos to bring awareness. However, it's the means through which you bring awareness that matters. For example, making a video helping children know what signs to see and what to expect from inappropriate jammers is amazing. However, making videos in which you expose jammers, which can be good, and including visual evidence such as inappropriate photographs, inappropriate drawings, or vulgar language is, I would say that's not good to show minors. I don't think that, for example, the example I gave, showing minors pictures of the stuff that Hi9 drew is a good idea, especially when you have a child audience. Just wanted to make that clear. Yes, minors should educate themselves. Yes, it is important to make topics to bring awareness to things. It's just important that you think about the content of said videos while you're making them. Also, one last thing, I wanted to let you guys know that if any of you are going through anything personally, if any of you are in danger in real life or anything of the sorts, I'm going to be including resources in the description, places that you can call, contact, email, whatever. I'll be finding resources, put them in the description. I don't know what to say. I love y'all, and I know this might be one of my controversial videos considering the topic of the video, but I just want to make sure everybody stays safe because Animal Jam has not been a safe community. Take care, everyone, and I'll see y'all around.